Want to know why struggling readers aren't engaging in some of the skills and strategies you've been teaching them? That's what we're talking about in this video. Hey everybody, it's Lee Hall with Literacy Teachers, and I'm all about helping you inspire, motivate, and change how your students are read and write for academic success. Today we're diving into a portrait of a struggling reader, and we're going to be talking about why some struggling readers don't use the reading skills and strategies that you've been working so hard to teach them. So I'm going to introduce you to Sarah here. Sarah was 12 years old when I met her. She was in the 6th grade, and she read on a 3rd grade level. Now, Sarah loved to read inspirational stories. She was a reader, okay? Now, she wasn't reading the stuff her teachers were assigning, but she had books and, and things that she enjoyed reading on her own. And she really liked to read true stories that she found to be personally inspiring and motivating. And she could talk extensively about these. Now, here's what Sarah wanted, because Sarah was aware that she had reading difficulties. She wanted to become a better reader, okay? Keep that in mind as we go through this. She definitely wanted to do better in school. She thought getting good grades would be nice, but really she wanted to learn the content. Sarah recognized that, her reading comprehension difficulties meant that she wasn't getting access to information and she wasn't learning as much as she could, and she didn't like that. Now, Sarah also had some beliefs about herself as a reader. And the thing to know about this is, even if you knew Sarah super well and you knew that, let's just say, none of these are true, this is what Sarah believes. And it's really important to know that what our students believe about themselves as readers really guides their interactions with text and instruction. So Sarah believed that she was the worst reader in her class, and she told me that she was possibly the worst reader in the entire 6th grade. She did not think at this point that she would get any better. She'd been having reading problems since the 1st or 2nd grade. She just kind of figured, this is who I am. I'd like to be better, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And she believed her difficulties were far worse than most kids. Okay, so that's how Sarah saw herself. Now, Sarah's teacher, I was in Sarah's social studies class. So her social studies teacher worked really, really hard to teach them comprehension strategies to use when they were reading the textbook. The textbook was predominantly what they read in there. I asked Sarah to talk to me about the strategies. I wanted to know about her understanding of them, and she told me it was irrelevant if she understood the strategies or not, because she's not going to apply them, okay? And she's not even really going to read the text any more than she has to, right? Maybe just skim it. But here's the thing, because I know so many of you are out there trying to teach your students reading skills and strategies to help them be better readers, and you're wondering why it's not working. This is what Sarah told me this day has actually turned out to be very, very common across adolescent struggling readers, and that is this. Sarah believed that if she engaged in these skills and strategies, while she did believe it could make her a better reader, she did believe it could help her learn content, she believed that. She wasn't willing to do it though, because she believed that doing so would show other people, show other students her weaknesses as a reader, and she didn't want to out herself as being a poor reader. Sarah spent a lot of time trying to get people not to notice that she was a poor reader. So the takeaway from this is that, struggling readers, they do want to learn. They do want to be better readers. They are interested in what you're teaching. They are listening to you too, by the way. But they are anxious about revealing their perceived weaknesses, okay? And I say perceived because you may not agree with, if you ask a student what their strengths and weaknesses are, you may not agree with their self-assessment. But, this is their self-assessment. So Sarah had these weaknesses. She had her own perceptions and understandings about those weaknesses in relation to others. And she was willing to take lower grades, to not improve as a reader, and to not learn content in exchange for the social risk that she believed was going to be a part of engaging in the reading practices that her teachers were asking of her.